Ryan Cole, thanks for taking the time today. Cross-country season begins with your first meet of the year down in Monument Valley Park here in Colorado Springs. What do you want to see from your team?
Well, really, it's just getting into the season and seeing where we're at. I think last year one of our challenges was that we didn't have a lot of seniors on the roster, and I think this year we have a much bigger senior class on the men's side. We have some very capable women in that class on the ladies' side, and so I think when you look at both teams, there's a lot of potential for a very productive season, but you have to get into it, see where you're at. You get a little bit of that through the first few weeks of practice, but and even the first race is kind of a feel it out. Let them run a little, but also it's not circled on the calendar as this is one of the marquee events of the season. But you do need to get into it and start to get some feedback on your team, see where you can make some adjustments, and so we're looking forward to that process with our first meet here coming up pretty soon.
What's the difference for runners? Because obviously runners run. That's what they do, probably, all year long. But then to actually get into a competition, and like you said, this is kind of like more of like a scrimmage kind of atmosphere. But what is it like for a runner to actually have now the clock is counting?
Yeah, I think hopefully a lot of the running you do sets you up so when you want to see how fast you can run or how competitively successful you can run, that you're as prepared as possible for that. But getting into an event like our first one, one thing about our sport's really objective, and the clock doesn't lie. So we always do the same course. Conditions may vary, maybe warmer one year than another, a little windier one day than another, but overall it's also a course that we practice on pretty regularly, and so you have some historical precedent to be able to compare and contrast, get some feedback that way. But really, yeah, you want to be able to use your training sessions to build fitness and confidence so that when you go out, to a big event and you walk up to that start line, you're ready. No one has a crystal ball, so you never know exactly how it's going to go. And that's kind of the fun in it, like going out and finding out, testing yourself and seeing what you're capable of. But yeah, you want to know that, okay, I don't exactly know what the time is going to be on the clock or what place I'm going to be, but I'm as fit as I've ever been. I'm ready to have a good run, and, let's go see. And so I think that's part of the process of going through from season to season and year to year, is just seeing what you're capable of.
Is that the same for you as a coach, or do you know, I know these three guys, these three gals are going to be really good. Let's see what everybody else does? Or has there been shocks? Have there been like, wow, I didn't see this coming?
Yeah, I think you have an idea, especially being at practice every day and communicating with your team and knowing where people are at. But I think every year there are surprises, and most of the time those surprises are positive. Not always, but I think that's one of the more intriguing or exciting things about coaching. Especially at the Air Force Academy when you go from year 1 to year 2, and then sometimes we see it from year 2 to year 3. But frequently there'll be a couple sophomores that come back and they've just taken a big step. And so it's amazing how you can transform yourself over a summer and then over a year. But then also it sometimes takes a little bit longer than you would like, and then all of a sudden it clicks. And so we feel like the people in the program, there's a reason they were invited into the program and they stay in the program. We feel like they can perform at a really high level. Sometimes it just takes time to develop to that point, and then sometimes it takes a bit of time for that process to click. But when it does, there are some surprises out there, and that can be a lot of fun too. So it gets you excited about the season. You don't want to have to bank on an unexpected surprise, to be a competitive team. But it is pretty neat when you see those people that have worked their butts off and they're really fit. They've been committed to the process and they get rewarded for it. So that's always a fun part of the season too.
Absolutely. Let the season begin this weekend. Ryan Cole, thanks for the time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.